happy to see you.
I show clients going through a difficult life change
You know what? I had a really tough year.
that new interior design is a great way to start fresh.
Dude, I needed this a lot.
It is so bomb.
It feels so good to laugh hard. What is going on? Your house is crazy. And sometimes it feels good to just smash something. After the dust settles, take life's lemons, put them in a beautiful bowl, and create a gorgeous centerpiece.
Oh my God!
It's time to start over.
Welcome to Queerguru TV and congratulations on your very fabulous HGTV series, Build Me Up. We not only love your work, but the best thing, you have this wonderful sense of humour you put into your work, and we like the fact you make it such a fun experience. So can we start with how and why you got into design in the very first place?
Yeah, that is a great question. I never really knew that I wanted to be an interior designer. I just kind of always did it my entire life. So from like age 7, I was designing rooms in my house and painting things crazy colors like the room I'm in right now. And I sort of got my start working in film and TV doing set design, and then eventually made my way to interior design. I've always been very visual and very design focused, but I never really knew that I wanted to do it until I started doing it professionally, which was on a HGTV show about 10 years ago called Secrets from a Stylist.
So do you want to describe what Build Me Up for the sad souls who have not seen it yet?
Those poor, poor people.
Tell me what your description of your show.
Yeah, so my show is about helping people through challenging life experiences using the power of interior design, which sounds very like cheesy and self-helpy, but I've understood from my own personal experience that changing up your space can be a really powerful way of figuring out how to move forward. Things visually looking different around you can kind of help you progress past something. So my show is about people who have gone through a divorce. Maybe their kid is going off to college, who've lost a spouse. It's all about kind of creating design goals for them and reaching those goals, and like through that helping them process things that they're trying to get through.
So I'm not sure it's true, but I read that one thing you had a great experience about is making new starts in your life. So is this what inspired you to start the show?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like the king of reinvention. So I went through a really bad breakup a few years ago and was kind of going through a rough part of my life, and moved into a new apartment and realized that the only thing that was making me think about the future and that was making me feel positive about life was designing my new apartment.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought, how can I take this experience and pay it forward to other people, because it was really helpful for me. And design really is all about the future. It's like, what am I going to do in the space? Who's going to be here? How am I going to use it? So it's a great way of getting your mind out of the gutter of the past. And I wanted to kind of figure out a way to impart that onto other people.
I loved the fact that the series was once called Unspouse My House. It made me laugh so much. There must be normal demand for a service like that out there.
Well, I mean, first of all, I have a lot of funny friends who helped brainstorm ideas for the title for the show. I loved that title too, but Build Me Up was a little bit more all-encompassing. It allowed us to deal with people in all sorts of different situations. But yeah, I mean, having the remnants from somebody from a past relationship in your house is, makes it very difficult. And I don't think that you need to just like get rid of everything and pretend like nothing ever happened, but it can be really meaningful to go through things and think about what you want to keep and what you want to give away. And so that's what I tried to kind of help other people do.
I'm not going to try and ask if you're partnered right now, but I know that you're very close to your rather fabulous mum who you had on the show. Is this something that's going to happen again?
I hope so. My mom is a really creative lady, and she's kind of probably why I am doing something in the creative field. She was the one who would kind of like drag us to art museums. She was always like making Halloween costumes or like doing things around the house that were just about making and creating. So she's actually coming up to visit me next week. I'm very excited. But she's just like a cool lady. She's where I get my sort of like do-it-yourself spirit from, I think.
Can I ask then, there's always a fine line on these shows about putting your taste in and accepting the client's taste. How do you draw that line so that you're both happy?
Actually, I mean, mean, my goal is to always make it look like the person did it themselves. They just did a great job. Like, people are always asking me what my style is, and like, I definitely have an inclination for like sort of organic minimalism.
Yeah.
Or, like, I love things that are like sort of antique Japanese, the sort of California Spanish style I love. But when I'm working with a client, I really want to interview them and figure out who they are and like the story that they want to tell through their space. So usually there's not that much compromise. Usually the compromise comes with like trying to basically get people's budgets to work with their expectations, because a lot of people have huge expectations and their budgets aren't always giant.
So how do you make that work? Because I'm always impressed that they seem to be able to do much more on far little money than I can do in real life.
Right. Well, I mean, first of all, for TV, we're pulling a ton of favors
Okay.
and stuff that you probably couldn't do in real
Yeah.
life. So that does make it a little bit more, it's like slightly less attainable than that. But
Okay.
the other thing, I mean, I'm doing one of them right now, is just like stupid paint tricks. There's a lot that you can do with making things yourself. You know, if you don't have the budget, you usually have to spend the time to do something.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's about like going out and looking in vintage shops. It's about making things yourself. It's about being willing to do the work yourself. Like, there's definitely a lot of ways to spend money. There's not really a lot of ways to spend money and save tons of time.
On a larger scale, come January, there's going to be a very big unspouse my house at the White House. How would you de-Trump that place to make it welcome for our next president?
Just get rid of all that disgusting gold that's probably in there. I don't know. Sage it. I don't even actually know what it looks like in there right now.
Do you think she had any hand at all in it? Not that she's any taste.
She has to have an interior designer.
Yeah.
She must.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who it is, but that is like the opposite of my taste. I hate tacky gold, like marble garbage.
I think we should be allowed to see it before you go.
So the show is on hiatus for now, but I actually am shooting something that's really fun for HGTV that's coming out as a web series. That's a makeover of Gus Kenworthy's house. And that is going to be coming out soon. So I'm super excited about that because I've been working on it for a long time and we've been shooting it for a long time and I finally get to share it. I'm terrible at kind of like keeping things a secret and working on things and not getting to talk about them. So that'll be coming out in mid-November.
Talking about keeping the secrets. Is he still single?
He's not. He's actually dating a friend of mine who is extremely hot. And it's like annoying to look at both of them being extremely hot together.
Okay, so that's coming out on HGTV in the fall.
Yeah.
And then your show will be back hopefully after COVID.
I mean, hopefully after COVID, hopefully next year. I'm also shooting a lot of stuff for them in terms of like guest spots on like Property Brothers shows, and I just did a little competition show as a judge for them, which was actually super fun, getting to judge other people's work. So I'll be on the network quite a bit next year. But yeah, production right now is kind of weird.
What we should imagine about you and the Property Brothers? How can we imagine that?
Oh, well, I mean, they're actually like both so easy to work with because they're both like actors kind of, so they're like really natural on camera, but they're also designers and they understand what they're doing. And you know, as somebody who's like, I never studied acting or did any like on camera stuff. I was literally just like a designer that was then on TV. When you're working with people who are comfortable on camera, it is so much easier because like on my show, I'm taking people who are very nervous and I myself am like not necessarily a performer and I'm trying to be the kind of cheerleader for them, which adds a level of like work to it. Not that it's like, not that I'm resenting it or anything. It's just like when you're working with people like them who have just done so much, you're like, oh, this is super easy because you know exactly what to do.
How do we follow you? Are you still doing your blog with the unpronounceable name?
So I actually changed my blog. It's now just orlandosoria.com. So I am revitalizing that. I've had kind of a crazy few years. I was writing a book, then I was doing the show, starting a design business again after like not working with design clients. So I finally am kind of revitalizing it. So it's just at orlandosoria.com. And then obviously Mr. Orlando Soria on Instagram is where I'm at a lot. And I'm also like currently shooting a YouTube series that I'm going to be launching soon that's also going to be on HGTV. So there's going to be a lot more content next year, which I'm excited about.
So we can follow you, but in the meantime, thanks for talking to us, and thank you again for the show. It's a real joy to watch.
Well, thank you so much for watching it. I appreciate it.
For the past few weeks, I've been working with Natasha, who is a recently divorced single mom.
It's been a rough 2 years, and I'm ready for a new beginning, a fresh start.
I admire her a lot. She's a really successful businesswoman and a great mom, living in a house that has a lot of issues. The number one issue is that she has a gigantic hole where a kitchen should be. I'm excited to share my initial design plan with her, get her thoughts, and see if I'm on the right track. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
So good to see you. I want to see this mess of the kitchen.
Come, let me show you.
I almost forgot how bad this is.
I know, we've been living like this for a couple months now. No sink, it's a mess.
Well, there is a sink, it's just on the ground. And you already told me about the leak in the master bath upstairs causing this issue.
Yes, this is the kitchen I wanted to remodel, but my ex was not into it.
Yeah.
And since he was the cook, he felt like he got the say as far as whether or not we remodeled the kitchen.
Right.
Now I have to.
Yeah. It feels so good to laugh hard. What is going on? Your house is crazy. And sometimes it feels good to just smash something. After the dust settles, take life's lemons, put them in a beautiful bowl, and create a gorgeous centerpiece.